For those who don't know me, hi, I'm Wesley. Can I claim South Africa's latest cannabis export? At least we're getting some products out the country. From the Cannavidia side, and those who do know me, up until recently, I was the customer success manager. Well, now I am. I was the business development manager for Cannavidia for Africa. Worked with a lot of facilities. I probably reached out and phoned up some of you at some stages and worked out with you. We play the sales game, so if you do know me on that one, it's great. A little bit about me to put it in context for this event. One, thank you, Jean, for the Sandcap side. The Cannavidia support that we're trying to push towards it is something I believe in. So at the end of the day, this is my industry. I might have now moved to the Netherlands, but I'm born and raised in SA. And yes, I got recently exported now in January. And I'm glad to be back in a bit of sunshine. It's a lot warmer here. I'm appreciating the summer days a bit more. But my background is in agriculture. Born and raised farming in the Eastern Cape. I studied agriculture, BSc Agricultural Economics, Agribusiness. I've been a cannabis cultivator. I worked in the genetic side, breeding. Wasn't really my forte. And the last bit, I do software systems. So I'll explain a little bit more about what Cannavidia is. Let me go through who they are, what we do, and we'll touch on the topic as we get to. A little bit of things that I enjoy running through is innovation, process optimization, and helping others succeed. That last one really is the basis for doing what we do is helping others succeed. At the end of the day, this industry is infant. Anyone that says otherwise, I would love to live in their world. We need to chip in and we need to do it in order to get everyone to succeed. A lot of the talks you'll hear people struggling with it and getting product out, getting through the different barriers to entry. And that is the main point of this topic, which is go-to-market strategy and a little bit about the Cannavidia consulting side. So just a little bit about Cannavidia. The name was strange. It makes sense in Swiss German, by the way, for any of those that thought it was strange. We've had that a lot. But we were founded in 2019. We from over 30 countries, or 30 Cannavidians from 4 continents. Technically, I still make up the 4th one being African, but I don't know. I think we'll claim that one. I'm just going to stay in Africa for a while. Head office is in Zurich, Lisbon, and Bangkok. We have a massive influence in the Thai market. The boom that has happened there, I'm sure a lot of you know. We really wish the same thing would happen in South Africa with our HQ in Zurich. Some of the people here have actually visited our team, that side. They're very hospitable. So if you are ever in that side of the world, reach out to us and say hi. We love to introduce people specifically from different regions and share the information that we know. So our other major hub is Lisbon. Massive boom in the Portuguese side with a lot of Portuguese medical facilities and a lot of development there. They've put out a lot of licenses, so we do have a major hub there. The other one was meant to be South Africa that we built up, but we know that some things have stagnated a little bit and slowed down, but we're hoping that it can be because everyone here, we believe that it fully can be a hub, and I look forward to eventually putting that on once we build in offices and bring down for the African context side. We have clients all over the globe. There's 150 global startups. We work with governments. We're really proud of that. For anyone that doesn't know, we are the official partner to the Swiss government. We have a 10-year contract with Swiss Medic to control the pilot trials for legally sold recreational cannabis. That is one of the things that we are really, really proud of. The first legal sales in Europe through the new schemes that have gone out from legally cultivated bud that is fully traced came through our dispensary system. So our services consist of software and consulting. We'll touch on a little bit about both of those and how they fit into this go-to-market consulting and this go-to-market strategy that we've been formulating and pulling together. And then lastly, well, we're ISO 9001 certified, and they're Swiss. They like their procedures, so that was fun for them to do. So how we support our clients. I think this is where it starts getting relevant again, other than the company overview and me, is this slide is always going to be relevant. It's our production value chain, basically, from start to finish. Yes, there's a lot more detail in some of those, but this aspect is how we shape the industry in the medical side. We break it down to the GACP, the GMP, and the GDP are going to be your main points of reference for this. Yes, we do have our solutions that cover the cultivation module for the GACP side, our manufacturing module into the GMP, the dispensary module for the GDP side, and then we have our marketing module, which is all about consumer information. Being able to take all the information that you put from being compliant, to be able to show it to the consumer at the end of the day, which isn't as easy, as not as many people using, because unfortunately the industry globally, there's not a lot of producers that are being able to sell product directly to consumers. We hope that that is going to change, because we do feel that within any aspect, and coming from farming, being able to produce and sell to consumers is where you make your value later on. But infant industry, we will get there. So we provide a top-tier management software. We are one of the best in Europe that runs through. We are the first major ones. We're competing on a global scale, and our consulting services. And I think this is where we draw and start pulling this together is over recent years within the company's history, our focus has changed from what we did as software for traceability, and our consulting leg has grown. It's almost 40% of our company and what we do at this point in time. And what we offer on that, and we'll touch on it as we go through, is everyone comes up to us and going, help. Can you get us marketed in Europe? I mean, the first thing that I've had since I've moved there is multiple people going, can you find me a buyer now that you're in Europe? I wish it was that easy. It's not. There is a lot more to consider. And I think that is the reason why we've started building this and creating the new product side of this go-to-market strategy to get product out. But in order to understand why it's relevant, we have to understand this entire process that runs through and how it is all split. If you know guidelines, all of these little subsections that we have here talking, they all have specific guidelines in the European Pharmacopoeia of how they have to be adhered to, what needs to go into them, what documentation needs to be shown. It's not easy. If anyone, can I get a show of hands? Does anyone actually enjoy sitting through a compliance lecture? Those that have, how long do you last? Okay, there's a few special people, Darby, you can't get excited. No. In order to enjoy compliance, and I'll be straight out on this, it takes a special type of person. It is not easy. It is the regulatory stuff. And I gave a presentation a couple of years back where I left some of the slides untranslated. I left them in French. Because if they were in English, it wouldn't have made a difference to anyone there anyway. These operations have to be streamlined. It's a massive part of everything. On a global scale and to the market you're going to, these become even more critical. Knowing what you're targeting, how you're targeting, and where you're fitting in. These different criteria are what you're going to be able to follow in this route. And I'm probably going to come back to this slide as we go through, because it's the easiest way to explain a lot of the issues, and mainly between where these overlap and start linking. Because that's when you have the little problems. The little problems that may cost you an entire harvest, they may cost you your entire contract, and they may cost you your business. They hide in the cracks between those areas. That is the unfortunate part, but that is also the reality of this. Just a little bit more services for you in general. We have the software, and if you have dealt with me before, that's my pitch. I'm pretty good at the software side of it. I'll run you through a little bit of it now. That was the main goal and focus of Canavidia as a company, was to provide top-tier traceability software for the industry globally. In reality, yes, that's happening, but our consulting business has crept up, specifically in relation to people asking for help. So what do we do in the consulting side? What are the services? And I'll chat a little bit later as we go through with who some of our team is to put this together with what we do, why we do it, and why we justify doing it. But we come into conceptual and feasibility right in the beginning. We have top-tier cultivators that have been in this industry for a long time. And yes, there are local consultants. There are people here for compliance that are incredibly good. They're great to get started for South Africa. But what happens when you start going, I need to pivot quickly, I need to change, and I need European standards. I need to jump between stuff. This is when sometimes going to a consultant for the end market, knowing what you want, becomes really, really important, because then you're able to dial in a lot of these changes on the conceptual side and the feasibility of it. I think anyone here that's been in consulting or had a consultant reach out to them, those consultants gave you a figure on a turnkey solution to get product to Europe, if I'm correct. That was the sales pitch throughout the industry for a very long time. We'll build it, we'll flow it, we'll get everything, we'll get you to Europe, pay us up front, and once your facility's up and running, it's not. The main one we're actually going to talk on the consulting side, and that's what the presentation's around, is the go-to-market consulting, relatively new, but I can't talk about that without talking about the full array of what we do, because it all fits into this. We saw that chain that links over quite nicely. Go-to-market is the one that we will just talk about the most just now. the others, the GACP, GXP, what we offer, quality assurance, sourcing and trading, not in the conventional sense of we're not going to buy your product. We are not going to be the ones that link you to buy. We are not a brokerage firm. That is not what we do as Canavidia. We just happen to be part of Sandcap. We know a lot of people. We know a lot of people that are quality processors. We know a lot of people. We don't build lights. We ask lighting suppliers. So the sourcing and trading from our side is quite an important one to touch on because we will introduce you to the people we know. We have a large European team. We have a lot of people in the industry, and I'll go through and introduce you to some of them, and their pictures up there just now. So we're going to be able to do a lot more there. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what Sandcap's trying to do with these events, is finding quality, reliable people to work with. And that's all the sourcing and trading is. We have people often ask us going, hey, do you know producers? Oh, well, what type of producer would you like? They have specifications that they have to give us. Producers go, well, we produce this. And we go, well, if someone comes up, then great. But there are people that we work with. There are people that we are happy to refer. If we know that a broker or someone working in the middleman has a specific preferred type of client that they like to work with, we trust them, we know them, we vetted them, we're happy to pass them on. Because as I mentioned in the beginning of the slideshow, one of the biggest things that I like to do and like to see is we like to see people succeed. We're not in that game. We're not producers. We're not looking to get bud. We don't have a product out on market. That is not our vibe. At the end of the day, I can only approach you and sell you software if you're a functioning producer. Otherwise, one of the first things to go is the overheads that you need, and you're going to go back to a large paper system that is kind of slow. Well, it's paper. That is in our best interest to get you to market and get you producing. It's a self-serving interest, but it's true and it benefits everyone. The software training as well we offer within the consulting realm. It's on-site software training, various from remote to on-site, and those are the little things that we cover. But now on to major the discussion points, I guess, is how do we do this? And the first one is mainly the software side we'll discuss, and then we'll jump into the consulting as the endpoint. So if any of you have seen the Canavidia system, we are a seed-to-sale traceability system, and we work around creating a digital twin of your cannabis operation. This is there to mimic and everything you do, make your compliance easier, be able to track everything from A to B. It is a nice, robust system that we do within the software. Mobile apps for just quick, easy data inputs on a batch level traceability. What are you doing to your plants? Because at the end of the day, if you go to any major producer, they're going to ask you for a traceability system. And this is one of the only things I think I was allowed to say from the sales side is, even if it's not us, which I would like it if it was, first vote for Canavidia, but if it's not, you're going to need a traceability system, whether it's one of our competitors or down to a paper-based system. You have to have it. If you're going to the international market, you have to have a traceability system in place. The biggest problems with the industry in general, and one for compliance. The compliance aspect, regulators want to know what you have. Product needs to be consistent. The consistent aspect of your traceability system is huge because buyers want a consistent product from a consistent grower. And I think that's twofold, is being a consistent grower and having a consistent product are very different. As I said, we're here with an industry where people want to work with specific types of people. They want to work with specific types of cultivation facilities. They want to know that you can actually keep everything together and produce the same quality product day in, day out. Your traceability system is what makes that auditable, and from them looking at who's their supplier, as well as from your compliance aspect. We do this as a software service that we built, that we run for multiple facilities all over the globe. And the idea is to try to get this as smooth and as streamlined as possible to get your data inputs in and make this compliance journey a lot easier, but also produce a lot more other data along the way. And that type of data, we're happy to set up calls, run you through the system. More than okay. If you do want to come chat to me afterwards, we can go through it. I didn't put any other slides for more of the system because it's not really the main focus of what we wanted to talk about. But the main goal is this is a big part of that go-to market, is your system of what you're doing. On to the next part, which is the main side. And I think the main point of the presentation side is once compliant, general operation, we support your go-to market. And I think this is a big point where a lot of people in South Africa at the moment are at this point, is we are here. We have compliance regulations that have been sent down from, we're going to say Europe in this aspect, although there are other markets, Australia, Israel, there's lots. We're going to have some more talks about those and the different market opportunities a bit later. But for the most part, the standard that has been put down in front of everyone is EU. EU GMP, EU GACP, all of these is EU compliant, EU compliant, EU compliant. And well, let's face it, that does stop a lot of product from going back up. So how do we help you achieve that? This is where we come in. And what we found has become the biggest niche that we get asked for at Canavidia is how do we take those compliance regulations and those barriers to entry and help you get your product on the go-to-market consulting side. To introduce you to our team, and the top line is the most important. The rest of us are really cool support guys, but from the consulting side of go-to-market, our top line is exceptional. They are a full European team, and we offer a variety of services. Yes, there are overlaps to services that consultants have here in South Africa. Absolutely. What's nice is we like to work with people. At the end of the day, we need everyone to get the best product out that we can. Elias Galantri is one of the co-founders of Canavidia. He's also the president of the Swiss Cannabis Association and was one of the first cultivators to legally cultivate in Alaska with one of the largest facilities there. He's been doing this for years, and he is a top-level business analyst in that aspect, a business consultant that knows not only the European regulations, American, but he is a cultivator by heart. The man is passionate about it. There is days where he kind of turns off all communication and just decides to work from a greenhouse. And if he could, he probably would work in a cultivation facility a lot more. These are the types of people that we bring in and have connections to getting to market. As I say, we need to know who we're dealing with. These are the circles they work in. Next up, we have our man, Timo. To be fair, this was supposed to be his presentation. He was planning on coming through because this is his area. Been in Germany, been in the cannabis for the last 10 years. He is the ex-MD or GM of Fluence Lighting. Getting to market is understanding the market that you're going to. Timo has a great understanding, and I didn't like that picture of him because that's not the natural Timo. If anyone does, the man loves being in plants. We have a company policy now that whenever we visit places, we have to take selfies with plants. But it's actually to show you at the end of the day, we're not just the people that are pushing the consulting end. We really, really do enjoy what we do, and we have a passionate team that goes through. Plus, I think it's a nice picture of Timo. That is Timo, and he runs up a lot of that. If you ever want to go through and you're meeting any of the major events, you're going to meet him. He stands out. He's a socialite by nature. I think with some people here that have met him or worked with him from the lighting side, the man really cares, and he knows a lot of people. This is the introductory of who's who, what are you trying to achieve, helping you figure it out and put a strategy together, because one of his major skills is a business strategist. Gabriella is an agronomist, years of experience running through in commercial operations within agriculture, large scale, full tilt, automated, colossal agriculture. Last but not least, and I really wanted a picture of him with plants, is Luis Suarez. He doesn't take pictures with plants because, well, he is a purebred consultant, like compliance auditor. A little bit about him, and he is a very big part of what we do as the go-to-market, and he's basically where the buck stops. Is Luis has been with Infomed for 24 years, has audited every cannabis facility except maybe the ones that popped up in the last year and a half. He has audited every cannabis medical facility in Portugal, as well as pharmacies. He's working with the European Medicinal Agency as an auditor through, and he is the man. When I have sat through an 8-hour gap audit online with him, he does not stop. Just to put a little bit and make it a little bit more entertaining, is when he joined our company, they sent him out to go visit one of our clients, and the poor lady nearly had a heart attack when he knocked on the door. He had to spend, I think it was about 10 or 15 minutes calming her down, explaining that he is not an auditor anymore. He is on her team. She is his customer. He's not doing a last-minute, unplanned audit of their facility. But these are the types of people that we bring through into this consulting. At the end of the day, is how do we get you to get your product back up to Europe? Is you have the right team that says, what do we want to do and how do we want to do it? It's cross skill set. So this is a very new area for us to work in, but it's also become one of the most requested of how do we get to product. I think show of hands here, how many people would like it if someone could give them the answer of how do they get product into Europe straight off the bat? It is nice and it's needed. But unfortunately, we go back to those original slides. It's not as easy as we need because this has to be followed. Why I wanted to bring this back up to discuss it running through is all of this has to be done generally ahead of time. Pick your market. This is part of the consulting side. If you bring people in, we know market, you say, okay, cool, we want to go to Germany. We'll give you a breakdown of what it's going to take you to get to Germany from scratch. It might terrify you enough that you don't do it. In that case, you might look for a different market. We've done our job and we've saved you a couple million. Everything in towards the market and to dial into it a lot better is it has to be picked. Each market is going to have different requirements and different barriers to entry. Once again, we have some great people here that are going to talk about that and explain exactly what those requirements are into those markets. But if you need a partner, and we work with those, is to get you ready to help you verify and audit this entire chain with what you have, what you are doing, what needs to be done. If you're feeling brave, you ask our man Luis to turn his compliance up to full and be prepared for one hell of a ride when he walks through your facility. I think he had one of our clients almost want to hit him the one day. They asked for an honest audit. We also got the feedback that ran through. I think they passed it with less than 5 findings in total for their entire facility, and they were only minor ones. That's what preparation takes. Because when we start talking of go to Europe or go to market, you have to understand that you're getting an EU auditor that is going to be the last person that signs off on everything you've done in order to get that product out if you're going that route. There are other ways to do it, and that is the honest opinion of don't do it yourself. Too many people have started going, we want to do this, we want to go all the way conceptually from here to Europe ourselves. Guys, there's much cheaper options. There's much cheaper markets. There's much cheaper ways to get product out. But you do not want to have put out, at the end of the day, that built your entire facility around being able to do it yourself to be able to sell it cheaper. You can't pivot. Plan to sell a cheaper product. Move it to one of the people that are brokering and pushing out products. Plan your market, and these are where top quality consultants save you time and money in the long run. We have a lot of facilities that we have been pulled over that have brought in mainly Elias and Luis at this point for specifically the consulting side going, please help us. We have monthly retainers with them. We have different variations on long-term consulting. I think one of our clients is some 8-9 months of 10 hours a month minimum consulting because they have so much to change that they've gone through that they want him cross-checking every single thing because they don't want to get it wrong the second time. And when we talk about a go-to-market strategy, it's not that we're going to sell you product. We are not going to be the ones that go, here's a letter of intent, here's a license offtake. No. We will get you to the market. If you ask us and say, we are going to this market, tell us what we need, please cross-check all our work, cross the T's and dot the I's. That is what we do on the consulting side and what we bring to it. And as I say, Canavidia is involved from just a software provider into a consulting, well, I'd say quite a decent sized consulting that is reliable with top quality work. We've worked with some massive big projects, some really big names within the cannabis space. And these are the things that I wanted to bring through and discuss. And of course, the biggest thing is that, please remember, this is the main guy that was supposed to give this. And I would like to, ideally, anyone that is interested and want to find out more, is I've lined him up. He's told me he's available in the next 2 weeks, is to get you onto a call with Timo. And, well, our new head of sales, which is Joch. And they're based in Germany. They know the market. They know the industry. They've been in this for a long time. Being ex-Fluence, they've known a lot of facilities. The nice thing about going to a lot of facilities and being in the neutral space is you know what people do wrong. You can see what needs to happen. And this is his baby. This is his brainchild of what we do. So I think that is always going to be the best, is to make sure we can get you onto a call with him, because let's plan your strategy ahead and see what we can do. Be gentle. I'm going to open up for Q&A. As I say, I can answer the technical questions to a degree, some of the discussion points, but let's chat about it. And if there is any questions about this, I guess, please ask. And I might just refer them to Timo in a future email when I introduce you.
What we searched for at the airport.
So you know how the things happen on movies where they have syndicates that steal stuff while people sleep? A haul of jewelry got stolen. And when they were searching for the jewelry, they found out that a whole bunch of credit cards and debit cards had been stolen out of passengers' bags. The passengers only found out when they called their names. So we got 3 hours and everyone singly searched, which made for a very long flight home.
Wes, quick question for you. In terms of your experience with cultivators and compliance and software, what's been the biggest sort of aha moment that you've helped cultivators with? What's been your sort of, on average, I know it's maybe how long is a piece of string, but share a couple of aha moments that Canada has helped cultivators with.
Clarifying information. When you ask people, and I've had it from here, and I can say the big aha moments of, yes, I work in the software side, I'm quite withdrawn, I have a bit more of a bird's eye overview of it, is seeing cultivators going, when you ask them, you go, what are you doing with your facility? No, we're building a GMP, a EU GMP facility. The amount of times that I've heard someone say, we are building an EU GMP facility. At one stage, I think it was probably like 10 or 15 times in a weekend at an event. I think, what is it? It hasn't changed. I think there's 3 in Southern Africa? One South Africa, Lesotho side, count them. It's a province. But yeah, everyone's talk. Yes, you can put the money on the line. You can put all the money on the line. Go to the equipment suppliers. We can kit you out with everything you want to be EU GMP. Guys, there's a lot of processes that go into that need to be managed every single day. And that's where the traceability software, documenting every little thing you do, comes into play. And that's why with the consulting and looking at it, going, okay, you thought you could do this. You got the backbone. You have the structure. You have the assets. We need to come in and do the consulting on, we're not going to rearrange everything. We're just going to train you. It's a nice thing. It's the right way. So clarifying what people want to do has been by far the biggest aha moment. And that is why our cultivation or consultants have done so well this last little bit, is they ask the hard questions. And if you can't answer them, you probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Where do you want to go? We will tell you how to get there, what you need. Well, thank you very much. If you want to get in touch with me, you can come chat to me afterwards. I'm there and I will be there tomorrow. I work in the customer success, and if you're done on the software, well, then you do know me, but I look forward to chatting to the rest of you.